Parik Laxminarayan worked as a consultant in the US before coming to INSEAD in 2003 with a view to doing something entrepreneurial. In fact, he founded a travel business with a classmate while studying, and the company now operates in 30 countries around the world. I read that you came up with the idea for Enchanting Travels on a trip you took at INSEAD. Can you tell us what happened?
We were just traveling around, as you do in between periods, and one of my friends said, we're traveling through places that we would never have imagined could be a travel experience in India. The stereotypical image of hot, dry, dusty, poor sort of image that lots of people have. And we were in a cool, pristine part of the country, and people said, this is not what I would have imagined India to be, and why is there a disconnect between what a travel experience can be like and what people have in their minds? So I think that sort of planted the seed. I didn't really think that travel would be the business or the industry I'd get into. Came back to INSEAD, was working on an entrepreneurship project with Alex. We were sort of helping a healthcare BPO write a business plan. And we just sort of said, I think it was one of those late nights at INSEAD, and we asked each other, I can't remember exactly how it went, but we sort of ended up asking each other whether we were serious about entrepreneurship post INSEAD. And we both said yes to each other. We worked well together and had fun. And then just started brainstorming business ideas. And one of the ideas was a travel company, which I think sort of came up as a result of this seed being planted on an INSEAD trip.
And what was the result of that? Can you put in a nutshell what Enchanting Travel offers?
Our whole business model is based on really getting underneath the surface of a traveler's mind, understanding very specific dreams, interests, and preferences, and having the destination knowledge, competence, and presence on the ground in order to create an experience that's consistent with that. It's as simple as that. Tailor-made travels to exotic destinations that are possible because you care about the experience, you understand the traveler, but then you also understand the ins and outs of what's possible in a destination to have that perfect fit.
And where is the company now in terms of the destinations, employees, that kind of thing?
Compared to where we were, pure startup, just two of us, we're about 175 people now. It almost feels like an INSEAD class. Our office, we have 18 nationalities employed. Not to mention the numerous partners we work with. Our employees come from 18 nationalities. We offer 30 countries. So we started just with India for German travelers. We quickly expanded both our destinations as well as markets. So now we target customers from 5 main markets and offer 30 countries. So extremely spread out. We've got offices in South America, India, of course, Germany, the US, and Africa.
How do you deal with pay when you have some staff in rich countries and some in quite poor ones?
That's a great question. I think it's been the question that we've been asked most in our business model. What we found, look, we're in places where are on the minds of people. So, India especially has been on the minds of European and American people, just to see what is this India story all about. And I think that's attracted a lot of smart people who may want an India experience that is valuable to them. So, we don't offer expat salaries. It just doesn't work for 2 reasons. I think the business model falls apart, and I think secondly, the culture falls apart. We don't want to create this inequality between local people and expats. So it was very clear to us that if someone wants to come and work with us in Argentina or in India, they want to actually be there. We're not sending someone as an expat to be there. We've been lucky. We've got extremely competent people from law and finance and people who, like you said, probably can earn a lot more money in their home countries. But we think we offer not just an attractive career or experience of living and working in a dynamic company and sort of country, but a future growth opportunity.
We all hear stories about founding partners falling out, and you seem to have avoided that. How do you keep your relationship working?
I'd say there's 2 main things. Firstly, you've got to learn to let go of the ego. And I think that is something that we've learned along the way, to be able to give and take and not really feel somehow affected by that is tough to do, but it's something that we were very clear on. So I think just respecting each other's abilities, strengths and weaknesses, and letting go of the ego is one of the things that we were conscious of and worked very well. And I think the second thing we did before we even operationalized the business was we sat down one night on our first test trip and said, how are we going to work together for the long term? And we came up with an internal agreement, which is basically a working contract and a relationship contract, which we actually took inspiration from a negotiation class at INSEAD. It was the best exercise we ever did. We basically laid down on paper how we're going to work, how we're going to deal with disagreements, how we're going to deal with potential challenges along the way. And the beauty is, having done that exercise, we never referred to that document again. But not having done that exercise might, I think, looking back, may have caused much more challenges. So,
what do you actually do all day now that you're a mid-sized company?
So I'll answer that in two parts. If you asked me the question 5 years ago, I'd say it was firefighting. Lots of unexpected things happening all the time. It's a very hands-on, operational, transactional business. Lots of moving parts. So I think the first phase of the journey was very much hands-on firefighting. If you ask me now, it's really it's a combination of spending a lot of time with our managers to try and upskill them. So it's more people-related things than tasks. Discussing challenges with managers, figuring out how to, on a daily basis, connecting people, figuring out how to make them work well together, trying to upskill them. So I'd say roughly half my time is people-related or management-related work, and I think the other half is growth-related initiatives. I've spent personally a lot of time driving our US expansion now. A couple of years back, setting up Enchanting South America from the ground up.